To summarize the movie, since Parker was about 8 years old, he has been a thief, and as an adult, he steals tens to hundreds of thousands of dollars with a group, including his close friend Phil. However, with the latest job that he's done with newcomer from Phil's associates named Zen, things go completely awry, and in order to get back on his feet and also redeem his reputation, Parker finds himself going to New York City, and in New York City, he's technically banned from operating or doing anything, thanks to him having some issues with a mob boss named Lozini. However, with a multi-million-dollar score on the line and him believing that he has the right team, it seems that Parker is willing to go up against Lozini, right a few wrongs, and make probably the biggest amount of money he ever got from a job. So again, to the view section, one of the top highlights for me, and granted this is probably a good dose of bias, is Rosa Salazar, and that's just because Zen, her character, is treated like a wild card because you don't necessarily know when or where she may do things that could potentially usurp Parker, betray him. And because you're uneasy about her role and everything, it makes it so as you see Parker try to go on his comeback story, it's like she's waiting in the shadows, even if she's standing right next to him in the light, or even talking with him about how to do the job in order for it to be successful. And I would even add in that there's a slight femme fatale vibe because Salazar is definitely flirtatious when it comes to her interactions with Mark Wahlberg, so it adds on another layer that makes it so that when it comes to the characters, I would say Zen is probably the most interesting of them all. Which leads to the second highlight, and that's just this has engaging action, which, similar to one battle after another, it makes it so that even though this movie is 2 hours, it doesn't necessarily feel like 2 hours because the action is paced out well, and also it doesn't kind of dwell on any type of drama in any type of way. I would also add in that part of the engagement is also that it's varied action. It's not just one car chase after another. There are car chases. There are, of course, full-on gun battles. There's even a train that goes wild. But when it comes to how things are operated and played dirty, it makes it so that is this necessarily trying to push for a pedestal so that other films get compared to it? Absolutely not. But it does know what works, and it knows how to give that to the viewer without coming off formulaic. With that said, getting to the on the fence portion, when it comes to Play Dirty, it's a fun movie. It's not something that necessarily has much in the way of depth when it comes to its story or characters. Yes, when it comes to Zen, she's given a slight background in being a former soldier for the government of Peru. We learn a bit of Parker's background in terms of how he got into stealing, but it's not the type of stories that feel as engaging as the action. It's not going to get you teary-eyed. It's not going to get you that emotionally invested. And when it comes to the team that Parker works with, even when someone gets hurt or potentially dies, it's not something that really gets you in your feelings. You're not, no, what's his name or what's her name died, or really like affected by it. If anything, it's like they're disposable in some ways, and that includes the recognizable faces or people who do bring some type of comedy and levity to the story. But again, I would say that when it comes to Play Dirty, it's one of those films where, as good as the action is, this can definitely be something that kind of plays on your second screen, maybe in the background when you're doing something else, and you're peeking over every now and again, and it may take a little while to look at it, but ultimately, it's not something that, again, it's not the type of film that must be seen now, but it's definitely something to have on your watch list if you have Prime Video. Which is why overall, we like Play Dirty. We enjoy Rosa Salazar. We enjoy the action. It's a fun movie. It doesn't get overly political or anything like that. But because it lacks the depth, it also makes it so that it doesn't feel like it's a must-watch either. It's, again, one of those type of movies where if you have Prime Video, it helps for this weekend or this week to justify you having it because it gives you something to watch. But if you have something that's better, whether it's The Girlfriend, which we think is quite good on Prime Video, there's of course Gen V Season 2, I wouldn't say that this deserves to get pushed up on your watch list just because it's brand new.